r/AskReddit. What ruins a movie instantly? Characters acting out of character / being morons just to make the plot work immediately makes me see them as puppets for storytelling rather than people, and I stop caring about them. The last 2 seasons of Game of Thrones, especially Tyrion Lannister and Daenerys Targaryen, it's straight up character assassination. That all the major issues could be solved by a simple conversation, but instead no, I don't have time to explain, leading to forced conflict from misunderstanding. Lem explain, pause no, is too much, lem sum up. Except he actually does sum it up well and they make a decent plan from it, lol. In superhero movies, when the balance of someone's abilities constantly changes, especially in fight scenes when a character could end the fight in 2 seconds but that doesn't allow for an epic battle scene, so instead that character just randomly decided to avoid using their most valuable abilities. This completely takes me out of the moment. The Flash series lost me because of this issue. Literally every fight with a non-speedster would be over in 0.2 seconds. Every single speedster movie, series, or comic is bad for exactly this reason. Their power cannot be matched. They have to fall through plot hole after plot hole for there to be a story at all. Forced romance. Sometimes movies don't need it and that's okay. I do love it when films subvert expectations and the 2 lead characters don't end up together, or just stay really good friends or something. The romances are almost always too shallow, born out of shared trauma more than actual compatibility, nothing suggesting an actual healthy relationship. This is why Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock base their relationship on sex instead in speed. When they give out the whole plot in a trailer. I'm getting so tired of 2+ minute trailers these days, and then they take it a step further by releasing 3, 4, 5 of them. Like, WTF do you expect us to watch? We've already seen all the plot points of the movie. Yeah, they just want us to come to the movie to watch the end. I still don't understand the logic behind 2+ minute trailers. Are you enticing audience or averting them from watching your movie? A forced romance between 2 characters which doesn't add anything to the overall plot. Annoying as shit. Like Rare Hobbit's love triangle between Toriel and Legolas. I hated this one. Whispered dialogue, ear-shattering action sequences. Living in an apartment and actually care to not piss off my neighbors. The volume spikes and drops kill me. Makes a good movie nearly unwatchable. When serious injuries, gunshots, stabbing, hit by car, only affects the protagonists for a second, then they're right back into action like nothing happened, but if you sneeze on a henchman he's dead instantly. Edit. The comments most mentioned offenders Black Widow Starship Troopers. Yes, it's satire, I get it. The public has mentioned it continuously, that's why it's here. Netflix, The Punisher, John Wick 3, Game of Thrones, Arya stabbing Prometheus C-section. For real, good guy takes 2 rounds to the torso and 1 to the liver, and still defeats bad guy in a 10-minute hand-to-hand battle. Minor henchman gets kicked in the chest and he's out for the duration. What are you doing, son? Just drop to the floor. Nigel Powers. Breaking the rules they set. The rules of your universe can be as batshit as you like, but once established they should be followed. If an established rule is broken, characters should at least notice that shit isn't right. This is exactly why it was annoying when someone points out a plot hole or gap in logic in Game of Thrones. People would always say the show has dragons in it and you're worried about that? Like, yeah, dragons are part of the world but things still need to make sense. Characters that are brought back alive just to keep the show moving. Somehow, Palpatine returned. They might as well have just called the movie that. Star Wars Episode 9. Somehow Palpatine returned. Shitty fight scenes where I can barely tell what I'm looking at. Gotta do it like Kingsman where the guy kills 51 people in 3 minutes or so in a cramped and chaotic building, yet you can constantly tell what's going on because of the superb camera work. Yes, some movies have really stylish action and it's brilliant. Others just add a shaky cam onto it and call it a day. Scene. Just let me explain. No. Storms out reality. Just let me explain. Okay. So why did you text your ex? It's a birthday surprise. He owns an engraving company now. I got you something I needed engraved. Oh. Cool, edit. I have turned movies off that have totally hinged on this plot. I understand you can be already angry and not wanting to listen to what they have to say, but actual stable adults and trusting relationships do not do this. Find another plot device, writers, this one is dead. Edit 2. For those saying pick another engraving company, then maybe she knew his talents and chose him specifically because she knew he was really good at his hobby, now career. Besides, people can split amicably. Seriously, one person storms out and the other person just stands there doing absolutely nothing. And never makes an attempt to explain ever again. Not even sending a message that couldn't be ignored or getting someone else to explain, or simply just shouting the reason whilst they walk away. The other person says don't bother and walks away, so apparently they can never explain the legitimate reason again. And in a lot of them they never resolve things by the other person finally finding out the reason either. They actually then go ahead and play out the story as if the person was wrong and they did the misunderstood thing, and then they have to win them back because of this non-existent mistake they made. When it's so dark you actually can't see what is happening. Also, characters that mumble their lines drives me nuts. Especially when it's only dark to illustrate that the story is dark. Cheap as duck. The nighttime scenes in Lord of the Rings will always be the best dark scene because they actually wanted us to still be able to see what the heck was happening. When there's a scene that's just advertising a brand. We've got to save the city from the monsters coming out of Pizza Hut, the place where no one out-pizzas the hut. What does he do if he gets locked in a car? Does he eat himself to death? When people figure out someone's password in literally no time. When they look at various things around the desk and that clues them into the password. That's why my password is picture frame. Showing and then telling anyway, treating the audience like idiots. Or when the big reveal happens, and then they have to give you flashbacks to the other moments in this short movie that foreshadowed the reveal. Joker did this to slightly annoying effect. Poorly fleshed out character motivation and intelligence, like an astrobiologist illogically taking off their protective gear on an alien planet. A real astrobiologist wouldn't do the one thing you're absolutely not supposed to do, and now they're infected. And it was just a lazy way for the screenwriter to get from point A to point B. Poor communication between characters when setting up or resolving conflict depends on characters illogically choosing to withhold information from each other. Because there's no time, or I'll explain when we get there. More lazy writing. The older I get, the more it takes me right out of the story when lazy writing shows through. When they started taking off the spacesuits in Prometheus, I thought being comedically reckless and stupid would be brought up as a major odd point, like everyone screaming at him, "What are you doing?" Nope, everyone just accepted it because otherwise the plot wouldn't work, which it did not, anyway. Heavy makeup and perfect hair. How am I supposed to enjoy a post-apocalyptic movie when the lead actress looks like a beauty pageant contestant? Drives me insane. Unless she's a scientist, then you get a beauty pageant winner in glasses. Well, that's okay because it gave teenage me a DVD of Denise Richards as Christmas Jones. When the characters have the misunderstanding and break apart trope, then they come back together to resolve conflict. I'm so sick of it. Especially when the misunderstanding could easily be avoided in the moment if they just saw the simple solution staring at them in the face. And the breakup sadness is always at the same point in the movie runtime. I'm thinking, good job writers, you remembered to consult the movie romance cheat sheet. That's mine also. No matter if they're a romantic couple, family members, or friends, the whole misunderstanding leads to contrived anger trope is just awful. When they whisper a super important point of the story, and you miss it and feel confused for the rest of the movie. You mean when the dialogue is 6 decibels so you turn it up and then the next random explosion at 387 decibels wakes up your neighbors and makes your ears bleed? I recently discovered my Roku has a sound leveling mode where it brings up quiet stuff and lowers loud stuff. It's not super strong but pleasantly helps a bit. Scratching the DVD. Or when someone records porn over your Land Before Time cassette. As if Littlefoot didn't have enough problems with things not getting up. Background actors in fight war scenes waiting for their turn to attack the main character. JCVD did the pilot for an Amazon original show that talked about this. He's playing a version of himself in it, but he is also a super spy that uses his acting gig as a reason to be in the places he needs to do spy stuff in. Weak, I know, but read on. He arrives on a movie set where the director tells him this movie isn't going to be like the old school ones he is used to, where all the bad guys wait their turn to get beat up by him. Later on, when he's doing spy stuff, a bunch of real guards catch him and they all rush in. Wait, one guard says, stopping the others. If we all attack him at once, we'll bump into each other and stuff and it will get really hectic. We should go in one at a time. All the guards agree, and JCVD smiles knowingly, thinking the fight just got a lot easier. The first guard rolls up and utterly annihilates him. Just full on beats his ass. It was hilarious. When the trailer reveals the entire story. This is why I have completely stopped watching trailers. It's actually revived my enjoyment of movies in a general sense. I was even able to watch the last two without simultaneously scrolling through my phone. I don't understand why trailers are like this these days. Does the general population want the entire story in 2 minutes? When you can't hear what they are saying, so FFS can't follow the plot, and the next minute your ears are bleeding from gun noises, fighting, yelling, or anything loud. WTF do they do that for? I'm marathoning The Matrix right now. Just finishing the third and about to watch 4. They do this so bad, and my brother is dead, which makes it so hard to watch. Even the background music is louder than the whispered dialogue. Edit. My brother is not dead. He is deaf. I'll leave the original cause funny. Dune. They whisper at an imperceptible level and then explosions are deafening. I get it's realistic, but it's annoying as you try and watch it. Also Logan. Patrick Stewart in that was so quiet I had to rewatch it after it came out with subtitles. When the heroes survive an overblown car crash that would have crippled or killed most people, only to walk away with a scratch. It's not very realistic, even for an action movie. I particularly like Jason Bourne falling down an elevator shaft and walking away because it's okay. He landed on top of the bad guy. Firing more ammo than the gun actually holds without reloading. Cockies in sun visors. Hacking a protected computer system in seconds. Black background with green letters and numbers. And then a loading bar pops up that loads to 100% okay. I'm in, guys. Not as bad as that time McGee and Abby start typing at the same time on the same keyboard to stop a hack or some shit. Can't say much for other people, but shaky cam. The later Jason Bourne movies for me were completely unwatchable because I couldn't tell what the duck was happening. Another personal thing that takes the wind out of some movies for me is when they crowbar in the title of the movie towards the end. Eat it, I just remembered. As a horror fan, poorly explained monsters that have no rules. I am specifically talking about Bird Box, where the monsters can seemingly do anything and everything. Shaky cam is possibly the worst cinema trend. I've never encountered anyone who likes it. And when they have about 10 shaky cams, they flick between every half a second so you only see flashes of the fight. When you know an actor was chosen for the role for their fame and not for the casting. Edit. Fixed a word. But holy moly, it seems like lots of people also hate this. Hear that, movie studios? We hate this. This is killing the careers of genuine voice actors. I don't want to spend the entire animated movie trying to figure out which characters Dwayne Johnson, Chris Pratt, Rihanna and Ryan Reynolds are voicing. Just give me genuine, good voice actors who aren't just using their everyday ducking voice. Edit. Seems a lot of people agree, although perhaps unfair for me to include Pratt and DJ since they're not half bad. Even though they already get more than enough work elsewhere. We'll just replace them with James Corden, who I think we can agree is an insufferable turd. Main characters being invincible while everyone else dies from one punch. I get that the main characters have to survive or they wouldn't be main characters, but at least make the damage somewhat realistic. When the story includes, the magic was inside you all along cliché. Cringy dialogue. Takes me right out the scene. In fact, I want to leave the scene. When it's some super spy badass movie and the protagonist meets a new character. I know you. 16 tours in Iraq. Special forces. 200 confirmed kills. The simple stuff that would never really happen. It doesn't ruin the entire movie, but the scenes where one spouse will wake the other by hitting them in the face with a pillow, then the one that got woken up says okay I'm up, then chuckles and everybody's happy. BS. Nobody does that. Wake anybody 30 or older up that way, and you may end up a murder victim. Or the action movies, where a cop saves the country from bad guys and doesn't write a single damn report, shoots 87 bad guys, and back to work the next day. Good work Johnson, you're the hero. And at the police department, there's a dumbass fruit basket on his desk. Hot Fuzz was great for the ending scene of everyone doing mountains of paperwork. Or when people have these amazing breakfasts on the table, take a bite of something and leave, and everyone else in the family is just fine with it. If I have that kind of breakfast on the table I am finishing every last ducking bite. If my kid does that, right back to the table they go. When the trailer explains the whole ducking story, shitty theaters making their own spoiler heavy banners with Photoshop when someone tells you spoilers. Duck you Ethan. Cringe script. Yeah, duck Ethan. I will say when they have a whole well-designed spacesuit or futuristic outfit or something that has a helmet to it or face cover that would normally always stay on or be on 80% of the time, but they just decide to never wear it or are constantly taking it off to remind us of the famous actor who is playing that person. I've also seen a few movies where a character will have a whole really cool looking spacesuit or battle attire, only to ditch the whole thing at the beginning and go the rest of the movie looking like the most generic person ever. It's law that Peter Parker can't have his mask by the end of a final fight. And over the top sex scenes. I like to keep my porn and entertainment separate. A bad accent. That generic foreign accent just pisses me off. For me it's the generic African accent. Africa has thousands of possible accents. Pick one and stick with it. That generic African accent is so fake and has been dubbed Wakandan accent in my country, Nigeria, because of Black Panther. Running through wilderness in heels for the majority of a movie, irksome. When they use CGI to make an almost 80-year-old man look like a 40-year-old but he still moves like an 80-year-old when trying to kick a poor shopkeeper's ass. When they repeat the same sentence 2, 3, 10 times in the story for no reason, just to have a kind of motto. I just want to tell you both good luck, and we're all counting on you. When the villain is just bad for no reason whatsoever. Or when the villain is super smart but the hero defeats him super easy. Retelling the same story over and over and over with nothing new to contribute since they're out of ideas. The spoiler heavy banners at the local cinema. Knowing the story from a book and the adaptation is just not meeting expectations. So you wonder how I got here. I love how in Emperor's New Groove Isma and Kronk arrive somehow first at the lab and they are also pretty stumped how they got there. Probably cringy pop culture references that will be soon outdated. When they force dialogue to put you in context at the beginning of a movie. Hi, didn't you just moved from New Jersey? All because your mom passed last year? Yeah, but at least I'm 22 and I have a passion for. Today 23 of March 2002 is the new school election. I wonder who will be winning. I wish you were president cause you are super responsible and introvert. Yeah, me too. But I'm not that popular or pretty. I wish it could change in one day. Ah, the classic. Good morning sis. I made you breakfast because dad went to work early today. Thanks bro. Dad's really been working hard since mom died last summer. No normal person talks like that. Completely takes me out of the film or show. I watch movies with subtitles. When they speak a different language and it just says speaks foreign language. Especially when it's not just a few lines, but actual dialogue. When it starts following a familiar formula. Basically when shit gets predictable. Having Fantastic Four in the title. Over-animated, overacted friend of the main character. Time period movies where every car looks like it just drove off the lot. What cars never get dirty in the movies? Gwyneth Paltrow. Empty cups. James Corden. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content bruh. It's free and that's a great price.